Okay, Bobby.
Well, Burt, have you seen any good movies lately?
Yeah, I saw one last night. It was really good. It was Victoria Gosman and Sin of a Woman.
I saw one too last night.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was it good?
It was called Fraternity.
Oh, that was probably better.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It really was.
Good.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun making it.
And I want to talk to you, Burt, in about 3 months. And I'm going to ask you to tell me about some of the letters and offers you got from women who saw that movie and who are responding to that ad that says, Burt Reynolds wants you to have his baby.
I've had some interesting letters, yes. And I'm trying to get to them as fast as I can.
How are you going to sort them out? You know, you're going to have...
Well, I usually use the pictures as the best way. I find that just going by handwriting is not good. You get in trouble that way. Polaroids are nice.
Uh-huh. And so you're really going to check into some of these, huh?
Of course. I mean, I'd be crazy not to.
Yeah. Burt, of course, this is a movie about a fella who wants to find a surrogate mother. He wants to have a child, a son, actually. But he doesn't want to have a wife.
Yes.
Okay. Now, could Burt Reynolds actually go through a thing like that? Does Burt Reynolds want a child so badly that he would go through a thing like that?
I don't think it's a hard thing to go through. I mean, it's not really that tough on the man. Yeah, I'd like to have a son. I just don't want to have one right now. I did understand the man's sentiments somewhat, but he is a bit sexist in his opinions, and he changes eventually, thank God. And I think it's the response to the film from women has been wonderful. I mean, because it really turns around. I mean, Buddy Evans, the character, kind of finally realizes that birth is a celebration of two people and not just one.
Well, you know, I was giving we're kind of poking around and having fun with this, but I was giving some serious thought to the fact that you have been saying for a long time that you would like to be a father, that's something you're missing in your life. And then people could say, well, it's not so tough, Burt, you know, people do it every day. But then, on a more serious thought, I said, now wait a minute. Burt Reynolds could be thinking along these lines that, do I want to bring a child into the world, particularly a son, who's going to have to go through life being Burt Reynolds' kid?
I never really thought about that. I won't think it'd be that tough, actually. I really just didn't want to have, at this particular time, a son or a daughter, because I just felt that I wanted to put the time and the effort into being a good father. But there will be a time, hopefully, in the next couple of years when I will want to do that. And I don't think you can do the massive amount of work that I've been doing and be in the family way, as they say. I mean, I do more pictures than anybody. And right now it's a very good time for me. I mean, I'm doing better work, and I think I'm growing more as an actor, and I think the work is getting better, and I want to take advantage of that. But when that time stops, and I think it will in the next couple of years, then I don't think I'll be too old to start a family.
Okay. Burt, let's talk a little bit about your pictures. The last time I talked with you was for the movie Starting Over, and I thought you were absolutely marvelous in that film, and I was so darn mad and disappointed when you didn't get an Oscar nomination.
Well, I was a little disappointed myself. I wasn't surprised, but I think in order for me to ever be nominated, it's real hard for this town, if you're number one box office, for them to equate that with the other. It's hard for them to give both. So if I had a tracheotomy this year, I think I'd have a good chance of getting nominated. Otherwise, I think it's going to be real tough. Or possibly if I played something so far away from anything I've ever done, like maybe a deaf mute with a hunchback, they might like me. But they don't acknowledge the work if it looks real easy. It's like when I used to watch Willie Mays catch a fly ball. I used to think I can do that. Just go like that and catch it. Except that sometimes I worked about 23 years to make it look real easy. And a lot of actors that I know, that I see, that kind of chew up the scenery, and you see all those veins popping out of the side of their neck and everything. They get nominated every year, so I must be doing it wrong. I don't. That's called the school of. They get a nomination and a tube of preparation H at the same time. I don't really believe in that kind of acting, but I may be wrong. Tracy never did it that way. He always made it look easy, and they nominated him every year. I don't know. I think my work, a lot of the films haven't been that good too. I mean, I think now I think the pictures are getting better. The Starting Over was certainly a step in the right direction. Paternity is that kind of film. I think it's a good film. And Sharky's, and I think Best of the Whorehouse will be that kind of film.
Yes, and we're very excited about your coming to Texas to do Best.
Well, I'm excited about coming to Texas, especially with Dolly. I mean, I'd be excited about going to Pomona with Dolly, but, I'm excited about going to Dallas.
Well, hopefully we'll have a chance to talk with you while you're on location down there. We'd like that very much.
I'd like to see you down there, too. And also, I think that it'd be real refreshing for the people of Texas to talk to Dolly and realize that she had some real hard second thoughts about doing the role because of her image and who she is about that particular part. And but the screenplay is very different than the play. And once she realized that, she said, I'm not as articulate as she is about that particular subject, but she's wonderful about it. And after you listen to her say it, you say, yeah, you're doing a wonderful thing. She makes it sound really wonderful and sweet and terrific. And she's great fun. I mean, I've never had that kind of chemistry before with an actress. I mean, she's just really fun.
And I tell you, I would know that the two of you would get along great because you're both very out front. And
she's more out front than any girl I know. I've never seen anybody more out front than her.
Burt, I want to wrap this up with just a few little quick questions here. This is your 33rd movie, Paternity. 33rd
Yes.
movie. I counted them up. And looking back on some of the other roles, if I say to you, Burt Reynolds, what is the most ridiculous role you ever played? What would you say?
I'd say Navajo Joe. I was a spaghetti western I did, and I had a wig on. I looked exactly like Natalie Wood. I didn't look like an Indian, and the horse was they didn't have a pinto, so I told them what we do in California is we just we color them, but they didn't understand it, so they painted him with house paint, and the poor horse almost died. I mean, you get these terrible welts and red things, and also he ran real fast with those spots on him. And he somehow felt that I was responsible for the spots. So every time I got on him without a saddle, I was off to the races. And I did all my own stunts in those days, and there was a lot of stunts in the picture. I remember once finding myself in the middle of about 400 horses, bareback on this horse who had been painted orange and blue and yellow and brown, hating me, and falling off into this herd of wild horses, thinking, this is not a good thing. I should be doing romantic comedy like David Niven, the mascot. And little did I know that someday I might get a chance to do a romantic comedy.
And here you are.
And here I am.
Starring in Paternity.
Yes.
Yes. Burt, very quickly, what is the most disappointing film role?
I think the most disappointing in terms of just results was Lucky Lady, because the script was wonderful. And I had 2 Academy Award winners, not nominees, but winners. I mean, Liza and Gene Hackman. And I loved them both very much, still do. We had great fun on the set. I saw the rushes. I thought the picture looked terrific. And then something happened between the time we shot it and they put it together, and it just didn't quite work. And that happens sometimes. It's just, everything is just terrific, and then they put it together and it doesn't quite work. That was the most disappointing for me, because it seemed so right. And we spent a year on that picture. A lot of money, a lot of time. And it was enormously unrewarding. I remember that 20th Century Fox was very displeased with me because I was, as usual, very honest about what I thought about the film. And they weren't thrilled with the fact that I thought it didn't have an end to it. I said the first 2 acts are great, but the 3rd act's in the toilet. And they weren't thrilled with me for saying that. But I think if you're that way with an audience, always tell them. Then when you say to them, this picture's good, they'll believe you.
So they're going to believe you when you say Paternity is good.
It is good. They'll feel good about going, and they'll feel good when they come out.
I feel good about this interview, Burt.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll see you in Texas.
You bet. You
Okay.
bet. Thanks.
Thank you.
Great interview. Great interview.
You want to do your questions now?
If I may.
Sure, keep
Yeah.
rolling now.
Okay. All right, now tell me where we want to.
Look at John right there.
All right. And if Burt wants,
go with that,
yeah,
right?
no, you don't have to, Burt. If you want to just, well, that's, see, that's the real pro. But I'm used to talking to doorknobs.
John and I are real close. We're going to be engaged.
Okay, Tom, this is going to be a good. We'll do reactions first, okay?
Okay, I'll talk to you. When I come down to Arlington, this was the funny part. I had to get a house. And I got this phone call the other day from somebody saying, I understand you're in room 124 of the Holiday Inn. I said, oh my God, I'm in trouble. So I tried to find a house. So they sent me some pictures of some houses, that I could rent. And unfortunately, somebody made the mistake of thinking that I really do make that kind of money. I just sent this house. It looked like a nice house. This guy wanted $10,000 a week for a walk. It was a teardown. Tear it down and build another house. So they've started inflating prices now. They've gone crazy.
Okay, that's good for reactions, okay? You got to finish for that story, Burt. Burt, do you have a finish for that story? I'll let you finish it. Oh, all right. Okay. All right. Okay. It's still rolling?